Welcome into another episode of Hockey Inside Out. It is now bonus question time here. And of late, with the Habs going through their plethora of injuries, which AHL call-up from Laval has impressed you guys the most that has played with this senior team and done very well of late?
Rafaël Harvey-Pinard, 5 goals in 7 games. I mean, he's got as many goals as Yoel Armia, Jake Evans, and Jonathan Drouin combined this season. What a breath of fresh air this kid has been. He's come in, made the most of his opportunity, got promoted to the first line against Ottawa with Nick Suzuki and Anderson. He works his butt off. He just works his butt off every time he's on the ice. He's not afraid to go to the dangerous areas in front of the net. And when he gets a scoring chance, he has offensive skills. He's scored some beautiful goals. He really has. I was speaking to him in the room after the Ottawa game, and 7th round draft pick. And I said to him, how do you keep the dream alive that you might one day play in the NHL when you're a 7th round pick? And he said, well, I was an 8th round pick in the Quebec junior draft. He says, I've had to, my whole life, I've had to try and prove people wrong. And he's really been a real pleasant surprise for this team. He's only 24 years old. He's not, he could have a future with this team. And I look back to the draft when they drafted him in 2019, and Trevor Timmins, the assistant GM, and Timmins and Mark Bergevin have taken a lot of heat for some of their picks, and deservedly so. But this is looking like a really good pick. And Timmins, after they drafted him, the quote he had was, "I love his intensity. He's got hockey sense, and he has a never die, never quit attitude." And that's exactly what we've seen since he got called up. Never die, never quit, making the most of his opportunity. I asked Marty St. Louis after the game in Ottawa, I said, you were a guy who needed a coach to give you a chance, undrafted, cleared waivers. I said, what do you think when you give a kid like this a chance? And Marty had a great answer. Nobody gives anybody a chance. You have to earn the chance. And he earned it by the way he played in Laval. He's earned it with the way he's played since he's been called up. And with him and Alex Belzile, the other end, he's a 31-year-old guy, I'm sure, who never thought he'd be back in the NHL again. All these injuries to the forwards, he gets a chance. And that line with Belzile and Harvey-Pinard and Michael Pezzetta has been their best line over the last few games. 3 guys who just work their butts off. And it's just a sign as how hard work can outperform just talent. Jonathan Drouin and Yoel Armia have a hell of a lot more talent than these guys, but these guys just work their butts off, and with the talent that they do have, they make the most of it. And Rafaël Harvey-Pinard has some offensive talent. He can, when he gets a chance, he can score. So it's really nice to see a kid like that. He grew up as a Canadiens fan, a Quebec kid, 7th round pick. He didn't even go to the draft that year because he didn't think he was going to get drafted. He got overpassed the year before. And the other interesting thing he mentioned after the game in Ottawa, him and Nick Suzuki were actually line mates when they were both with the Vegas Golden Knights. The year before Harvey-Pinard got drafted, he got invited as an undrafted player. And during the training camp or the rookie camp, him and Suzuki played together. And now they're back together playing with the Canadiens. Who would have ever thought that would happen back then?
And how refreshing is it to see in Harvey-Pinard so excited, so determined, so happy to be given the opportunity. And, when you look at his play and what he tries to do each and every shift, is a bonus to have this kind of guy in your lineup. And hopefully he's going to take the spot of some guys that do not show that type of drive and intensity and desire to make the difference. So a great kid, a kid that's taking full advantage of his opportunity to show what he can show, and the results are there, speak for themselves. But I have to also mention another one in Anthony Richard. Even though he didn't really get a real good chance, here's a guy that's just lighting it up in Laval, which is the American League, but he's still got 30. He's got in 36 games, 22 goals, 20 assists, 42 points in Laval. So this is not a fluke type of situation. And, as we look down the stretch here, and there's probably going to be more guys that are going to come down with injury, let's see what some of these young kids can do. And he's one of the guys that I like the short term that he came up and what he brought. He didn't get a real good look, but I'm hopeful that, the future, he can get an opportunity to show what he can show, because the future is those young guys and those guys that are really, really excited about giving an opportunity to play at the NHL level.
Yeah, Rick, what I liked about Richard is, he didn't get the best chance in Montreal. When he was sent down to the American Hockey League, he didn't sulk. He went down there, and I'm pretty sure he immediately had like a multi-point game and has continued to tear it up. He just is all effort all the time, and Harvey-Pinard has taken advantage now of his chance in the NHL. You look at his ice time per game, and it says a lot. You know, like playing 10 to 13 minutes a game, then all of a sudden the last few games he's playing 16 minutes, almost 19 minutes against the Ottawa Senators once he got bumped up to the Suzuki line. And the switch in effectiveness as soon as Harvey-Pinard was there with Suzuki, giving him an offensive outlet that can chase down pucks in the offensive zone, get on those rebounds. It's really nice to see. But also, I got to give a shout out to Justin Barron, who came up a little while ago due to the injuries on the back end and has fit in seamlessly. He was the guy who was passed over in training camp, again, expected to make the NHL club and didn't sulk, went down to the AHL level and played great. He was their number one defenseman the whole season, came up here, and now he's pushed his way past being, seventh on the depth chart in the NHL, where he's pushing guys like Xhekaj and Harris for ice time. So it's good news there as well. But a special credit as well to Belzile, who Stu mentioned is a 31-year-old player, probably didn't expect to make the NHL again, taking advantage of his opportunity. What sticks out to me is just how often do you see Belzile with the puck make the right play? He's always making the right play. He may not be a dynamic player. He may not score a bunch of goals, but he does not hurt you, and that has value as well.
Yeah, and as he said, it was his skating that kept him back. I mean, he says, I'm not stupid. I know my game. He said, at age 20, I realized I really had to work on my skating. The hockey sense is there. The smarts are there. We've seen that. He worked on his skating to get to the point. It's nice to see him get a chance. Just go back to Harvey-Pinard for a second. He has a little bit of Cole Caulfield in him, and I don't mean that Cole Caulfield is obviously a more talented player, but he has that enthusiasm. And when Cole Caulfield went out for the season, Marty St. Louis said, we have to replace his enthusiasm as much as anything. That enthusiasm he brings to the rink every game. And Harvey-Pinard brings that. You see when he scores a goal, he's got that Cole Caulfield smile, right? He's so excited to score. He's so happy to be in the NHL. He's so happy to be in the locker room. Same with Belzile. I mean, Kirby Doc told me, he says, Belzile in the room, he's got a big smile every day. He's happy. He pumps guys up. He keeps guys going. And it just shows you that there's different paths to get to the NHL. And for some guys, it's easier if you're a first-round pick, like for Kirby Doc. Not that it was easy for him, but you get more opportunities, obviously, when you're a number 3 overall pick. And when you're a guy like Belzile or a guy like Harvey-Pinard, it's a tough road ahead. And it's really nice to see these guys get the opportunity and make the most of it. And just a sign, I asked Marty St. Louis a couple of games ago, like, what message do these guys send, that Laval line, to the other young prospects coming up? And he said, nothing's handed to you at the NHL. You gotta earn your chances and earn, and that's what these guys have. They've taken advantage of the opportunity they've been given, and hard work. Just work your butt off every time you're on the ice.
I think it also sends the message that it's never too late, right? You can always find an opportunity.
Yeah, and it also sends the case they don't really. It doesn't matter where you were drafted or how old you are with this. If you perform in Laval and you show you deserve a chance, you're going to get it. And if you perform when you're with the Canadiens, you might end up on the first line. When previous coaches with the Canadiens, I don't know if Harvey-Pinard gets promoted to the first line.
Last word, guys, quickly here. One word answer. Does Harvey-Pinard make the roster, the day one lineup in October? Yes or no, Rick Green?
Deserving, yes.
Stu?
Yes, on the condition it depends what happens in the offseason and the trade deadline. But he's certainly, at this point, I say yes.
Andrew?
Yes, he's never seen the AHL again.
Well, he's slated to make $825 this year. He's an RFA, so he's going to get a bump in pay raise with the way he's going. We'll find out with Harvey-Pinard if he could be a part of the franchise's future moving forward towards training camp next fall. Well, don't forget, submit your questions and comments here in Hockey Inside Out. We look forward to conversing about that on a bonus episode. And for the full episodes, head on by the YouTube page for Hockey Inside Out and sign up for the newsletter on MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And for bonus content and full episodes, head on by Hockey Inside Out. Check it out from top to bottom. On behalf of Stu, Rick, and Andrew, we wish you a great week. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.